Episode 3. The Silent Strategy. After the chaotic ending of the first simulation, the recruits find themselves back in the cold, sterile environment of the Nexus. The reality of their situation is beginning to settle in. Their intellects have brought them to this place, but it will take more than just brains to survive. It will take strategy, cunning, and above all, restraint. Rei Ayanoshi, having emerged victorious in the last challenge, remains calm and collected. He knows his victory was a quiet one, a victory built on understanding the deeper dynamics of power. But now, as he steps into the next simulation, he knows things won't be so easy. The others will be more cautious, more calculating. The game is about to get more dangerous. In a game of masters, victory is fleeting, and the next test is always around the corner. The recruits may have learned the lesson of subtlety, but Rei Ayanoshi's victory has made him a target. Now, the others will stop underestimating him. The recruits gather once more in the training room. The atmosphere is heavy with competition. Riku, still frustrated by his previous failure, eyes Rei from across the room. He's been quiet, retreating into himself after being outmaneuvered, but the fire in his eyes is undeniable. Mira, on the other hand, is less overt in her reaction. Her charisma and cunning have been slightly shaken by Rei's success, but she doesn't show it. Instead, she's analyzing, calculating. The game has only just begun, and she's ready to play it her way. Mira, to herself, Rei's victory wasn't a fluke. He's calculating, methodical, but the next challenge will be different. He may have played the game of trust and leadership, but can he handle a game of conflict and strategy? The room falls silent as Director Kuroda enters once again, his face stern. He's holding a small metallic device in his hand, and he scans the room briefly before speaking. Director Kuroda, the next challenge will test not just your intellect, but your ability to control conflict. This time, there is no simple solution. There will be no easy victories. The room grows tense as he sets the device on a table, pressing a button. The walls around them shift, revealing a map of a large, fictional city. The map is divided into sectors, each representing different factions vying for power in a volatile political landscape. Director Kuroda, welcome to the conflict zone. You will each take control of a faction within this city. Your goal is to gain control of the city by any means necessary. But beware, you will not be the only ones with that objective. The other factions will be competing against you, and some of them may resort to unsavory tactics. Rei observes the map carefully, his mind already working. This isn't a simple matter of winning the loyalty of the people. This is about power, resources, and strategy. It's a battle for control, and he's already thinking 2 steps ahead. Rei, inner thoughts. This will test not just my ability to outthink them, but my ability to outmaneuver them in real time. Conflict will escalate quickly. I need to be prepared. Riku's eyes gleam with excitement. This is the kind of challenge he thrives in: direct, physical, confrontational. He immediately begins to strategize, thinking about which faction to control and how to leverage his engineering expertise. But his overconfidence might be his undoing this time. Riku, enthusiastically. If we can secure the resources early, we can dominate the rest. All it takes is securing the central district, and we'll have the power to dictate the rest of the city. Mira, ever the tactician, remains silent, her mind working behind her composed expression. She knows that brute force will not win this game. It's not just about controlling the city. It's about manipulating the other factions and controlling the flow of information. Information is power, and in this game, perception is reality. Mira, whispering to herself, I'll play the long game. I'll let them fight each other, and then I'll strike when they least expect it. Rei remains quiet as the other recruits start making their moves. He's not in a rush. He knows that, in this game, timing is everything. While Riku rushes to secure physical resources and Mira tries to manipulate the factions, Rei starts by gathering intelligence. He watches the others, learning their patterns, understanding their strategies. Every move they make is data for him. Rei, inner thoughts. The real key here isn't control, it's information. The more I learn about their plans, the better I can predict their moves. Once I know what they'll do next, I'll have the upper hand. As the simulation progresses, the city begins to divide into chaos. Factions clash over resources, streets are blocked, and sporadic skirmishes break out. Riku's faction quickly gains ground, using his engineering prowess to create fortified positions. He's strong, but predictable. Mira, on the other hand, has begun spreading rumors, causing confusion within Riku's ranks. She's turning the factions against each other, using deception as her weapon. But despite her cunning, she's also becoming a visible target. Her manipulation is obvious to those who are paying attention. Meanwhile, Rei watches from the shadows. His faction is small, but he's quietly consolidating power through alliances and information. His moves are subtle, calculated. He doesn't engage in direct conflict unless absolutely necessary. Instead, he waits, letting the others expend their energy. Once they're all weakened, he'll strike. Rei, inner thoughts. Patience. They'll wear themselves down. When they're all too focused on their own battles, I'll emerge as the one who's been quietly strengthening my position. The battle rages on. Riku's faction clashes with Mira's, and the city is on the brink of an all-out war. But Rei is ready. The time for subtlety has passed. Now, it's time to control the final move. Rei, inner thoughts. Now. As the factions are exhausted, Rei launches a decisive strike. He uses his influence to turn the public against Riku and Mira, exposing their tactics to the citizens of the city. The other recruits are blindsided by the sudden shift in the game. Riku's resources become a liability, and Mira's carefully woven web of deception begins to unravel. Director Kuroda's voice echoes in their ears as the simulation ends. Director Kuroda. The conflict zone is over. Rei Ayanoshi has secured control of the city by manipulating the flow of information. Victory goes to him. The recruits are pulled back into the Nexus, their avatars dissolving as they return to the cold reality of the facility. Rei stands quietly, as always, his mind already thinking ahead to the next challenge. Riku looks frustrated, and Mira's eyes are filled with a mixture of admiration and frustration. Rei, inner thoughts. This game is mine, and the others are only just starting to understand.